I'd like to introduce you to this game. I hope you see that it's really quite exceptional. It's a brand new game, just came out. It's called Loka. It's designed by game designer Alessio Cavatore, an Italian fellow. I believe he's living in Great Britain now. He's very sincere. He's very capable of drawing many elements together and really creating a game that reflects on aspects of philosophy, chess history, modern game playing strategies. I'll just try to show this to you as quickly and efficiently as I can because there's so much in it. You can see from the cover that he's looking at 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air. So that's one aspect of the game, just that very basic idea of elements. Here's the board, and you see the idea of the elements exists on the board. Water is also ice, air, fire involves lightning, earth involves roots of trees. Now what I'd really like you to appreciate before we go any further is the, I'm going to focus in a little bit, the pieces themselves. I'll start out with the air pieces, which is yellow. And these are very finely detailed, and they're very inventively created. Each one is different. This is the king of air, and you see he's got a bird theme going. This is the rook of air, and it's essentially a tornado. The queen of air. Now the queens in this game are the largest pieces, which befits their great power on the board. And you see it's really got a bird theme here with a warrior regalia everywhere. I'm going to bring them out more quickly now. The pawn has got feathers on his cap, and there's 4 of those. The knight is, in fact, a bird. Beautiful. This pose reminds me of those coats of arms, very classic pose. And all of the bishops in these sets are a kind of a advisor, or what would you call a warlock, a sorcerer, this kind of a wizard fellow. But they're all different. This one, of course, masters a bird. And notice how finely these things are made. They're plastic, but they're a soft kind of plastic, so they can have this very, very small detail in their manufacture. So you can see that a whole lot of thought and artistry has gone into this set, much more than you're going to find in almost any board game really that you come upon, because this is really more than a board game. Let me just run through. The fire rook is he's essentially a exploding furnace. The fire pawns are these little demons. The fire queen is just she reminds me of one of those Tibetan tanka paintings. She's just got swords and flames everywhere, a force to be reckoned with. As I was saying, the bishops are always some kind of a sort of sorcerer, master, magician kind of fellow with a pole. Kings are always enthroned, but here's the fiery guy with big fiery, sort of looks like a fiery heart, and he's got a serious mask on with horns. It's been advised that people who want to go ahead and paint these. They were originally conceived in color as colorful images, but actually producing colored pieces would be a whole nother expense, and besides that, if you really want them in color, they really want you to paint them yourself, because the people who created this set, or in particular Alessio, is continually encouraging people to be creative with their games. He says, okay, here's the rules of the game. Here's what I give you. Here's what I've been able to create for you, which is very far developed and very well thought out. And yet he also encourages people to augment the set, put on more pieces, color the pieces, invent your own rules, use some of his rules and not others. You know, he's a fellow really aware of the evolution and the continuing development of games. And you see that in people who play like modern card fantasy games. You know, they know that they've got one kind of set now, but next month there might be a new kind of set out. There might be a new kind of rules that augments the game. So as opposed to chess players who tend to think that their game is set in stone and it's always been like that, which of course we know it hasn't. And as you see now, still is not. But this game is made with an awareness of chess and games in general as evolutionary. Now this is the water group, but they are skeletons. They also have an ice theme, as I mentioned. So it's water, ice, and skeletons works along with that. So all the figures. You can tell really easily that the stocky, huge guy is a rook. The skeleton of the Pegasus, of course, is the knight. You know, even though each one is different, there's no ambiguity as to who is who once you start playing the game. And of course, since they're based on chess, their moves on the board are already familiar. So let's just look at some more things about this game. I'd like to show you briefly how to play it. I won't be able to go into every detail, but the book is very clear. And it's also sturdy. Everything about this game, leaving the box, everything is made to. I'm knocking on the box. Sorry. Everything is made to last. It's a game made for serious game players in mind, and we hope you get many years of enjoyment out of this. So, they introduced in the booklet. They introduced the four sides. Now, the game is actually fire and water joined forces. They're the evil forces, and if you notice their looks that they have, they are vicious in that way. Against air and earth, those are the forces of good. Now, as you know, fire and water can also be good, but this is another way of dividing the universe. These elements, good versus evil, and these two work on a team. These two work on a team. So, before the game starts, now, and this, if you've seen the game Shuuro, you're familiar with this. Before the game starts, the players, the teammates, this side and this side, have a little conference. These guys have a little conference about what their strategy is going to be, because they're not allowed to talk during the actual play of the game. So they're going to have a conference. They're going to decide. They have to choose what pieces they're going to have. They have 160 points, and you can vary that, and you can get more pieces and all that, because as I said, you can vary things. But the basic game, you have 160 points, and each piece you select has a certain value. So you spend your 160 points, and it goes pretty quickly. A queen is 90 points already. Pawn is only 10 points, and there's a limit. You can only have as many pieces as you have available in your set, which is, as I showed you, basically one of each and 4 pawns. But of course you can't have all of them because you don't have enough spending power. So you have to choose. Do you want a queen, or do you want some small pieces? Do you want a lot of pawns, or none, or just a few? Or you have to decide what your strategy is, what your sense of attack and defense is going to be in this game. Then you come together, and one at a time, you place your pieces. You roll the dice to decide who goes first, and then clockwise you place pieces. First you have to place your king, he has to go on the back rank. Let's say he was starting. Then this person has to place their king. Oh, they're green. This person has to place the blue king. This person has to place the yellow king. Then the other pieces get placed one at a time. Not the pawns yet. The pawns get placed last. But these guys get placed on the back rank. If you have more pieces, like you add additional sets, then you have more, you know. Let me give you a bigger view here. If you have more pieces, then you could even go beyond the back rank. But as long as you don't, you just fill in the back rank with pieces. Then once you've, as I was saying, each person does it one at a time, clockwise in order. Then finally you place the pawns, and they go on the second rank. And if the second rank overflows, then you can even place them on the first rank. But note that a pawn on the first rank doesn't get a double step anymore. It just moves one because it's considered to have taken its first step already. Pawns on the back rank take a double step. Now, you move the pieces that you want, but attacking is different. And you take turns clockwise in order, but attacking is very interesting because when a piece is attacked, okay, say this knight is attacking the pawn. Okay, first of all, you got to decide who's going to win the encounter, because it's much more realistic. If you're attacking somebody, you have an advantage because you know and you're setting up the attack, but you don't know if he's going to turn around and kill you. So in this game, this could happen. Because you have the because you are attacking, you have the advantage. So he rolls a four-sided die. That's a four-sided die. He gets a 3, and you get a power boost. So from the four-sided die, you go up to, what's the next one? A six-sided die. So you would roll 6, and just in that you would win the encounter. Okay, you would win. But of course, if you had rolled a 1, you would lose the encounter. And actually, if you roll a 1, I believe you not only lose it, but you actually lose your piece, because that rolling 1 is just too bad. You lose the attacker even. But if you had rolled a 2, you just lost the encounter. Then it would just be a wasted move. You made an attack and nothing happened. Now, more pieces can be involved in this attack. Say red also has a queen involved, and we're going to use the blue queen because red and blue are allies. So say a queen is also attacking that pawn. That would give the attacker another boost, and so they would go up to the next die, which is the 8-sided die. And there's even greater chance of them winning. Well, there's 8 for you. There's even a greater chance of them winning with the 8-sided die. From there, we go up to the 12-sided die. It's a dodecahedron. 12, I'm good, aren't I? And from there, we go up to the 20-sided die. And if you get even more power boosts than would take you up that high, that would be, what would that be? 1 power boost, 2, 3, 4 power boosts. If you have even more, then not only do you get the die, but you get to roll the die again. So, you know, in other words, if you rolled the die and you didn't win, you say, okay, I've got even more power boosts, I roll again. So as I was saying, you get power boosts by having more pieces attacking. The other side, say his ally was also here defending the square, then that would give him a power boost, so he'd go from the 4-sided die to the 6-sided die, etc. So, real quickly, that's how encounters are done. Now, the object of the game is going to be to capture the king. No check and checkmate. You just capture or you don't. There's a special rule for kings capturing each other. Everybody just stands back, drop all the rules, and they just have to fight it out with the top die, and whoever wins, wins. And as I said, I'm going over the rules briefly, but you know, when you get the booklet, of course, you'll see all the details. Now, here is another really important thing. Before the game, even before you set the pieces on, you have to conceptualize this square of these squares. If you're blue, this is your square of placing pieces. So, I'm sorry, placing the terrain tiles. So you randomly choose a terrain tile from the bunch. Okay, I got this one. This is a terrain tile in which only rooks can move through, on or through. Okay, it's a block for everything but rooks. Interesting. So, to place it, I do this little random thing. Let's see, where's the, here we go. First, I choose the column, and it's very well explained here. First row, second row. You see that's your square picked out of the board. First, I choose the column. It's going to be on the third column. Then I choose the row. It's going to be on the first row. So interesting. It's right on my home rank here. I've placed one of these rook-only pieces, which happens to be called stone.